a person looking to move here, how much you think they need to start off?
I think off the top of my head, at least 10K, I would say, but that's if you're going to get a job like right away. Because I know some people want to come out to LA and just focus on their craft and like not get a job right away. And I think if you want to do that, like 50K, I think you could come out here with 10K, but you're going to be like, you need to budget really well and you're going to be strapped. You're going to have to live with roommates. It's going to be tough, but I would say at least 10K. I think I could have done it with 5K. I just think it would have been extremely stressful. And I was just so young too, and like completely coming out here alone. Like even my parents didn't drive with me to college. Like I quite literally drove across the country alone. And thinking back on it, like an 18-year-old doing that, I think if I would have done that with just $5,000 to my name coming straight to LA, I think I maybe would have died. Just because like, you know how expensive things get. And like, I didn't have a place to live right away. So like I was crashing at like a co-living place in downtown LA for a while when I first moved out of college, like doing sketchy things. I think I would have just run out of money really fast. So I feel like 10K. I'm curious, what would your opinion? What do you say at least?
Well, so I moved out to California in general 5 years ago now. I moved out here with 10K.
Okay.
10K and a job.
And a job. Okay.
And so let me say, everything you just hit was spot on. Because you lose money so fast with so many little things.
You don't think about.
You don't even.
Especially moving in, and then it's like you have to buy a couch and like just like silly things like that just add up very quick.
Yeah, and it's easy to say, "Oh, I can do without. I can go without." All right, y'all, this is coming from me. I slept on the carpet to my spot for 2 days. My body ain't never been hurting that much in its life. Yeah, but the reason I did it is because I was like, oh, you can do it. You don't need life to look like this. And it's two things Sophie mentioned that I want to like call out that's really important. One thing is the struggling component of you not having enough. A lot of people know with acting in general, or with anything you're trying to pursue, once desperation seeps in, it ruins everything. It's no longer even fun. And we're not saying every single day is always going to be some extravagant fairy tale. But at the end of the day, you need to have some mental capacity to enjoy what you're doing. You can't 100%. Every single day, how am I going to eat?
Yeah.
How am I going to do this? It's tough.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're saying that too, Brian, because I think, and you'll probably agree with this, people hype up the like starving artist mentality of like really scrambling. And yeah, like you hear these stories of these actors, and I'm sure some of them are true, these A-list actors that were like living in their car before they booked the big thing. And I'm sure a couple of those stories are true, but that's not the reality for most people. Because if you're struggling so much, constantly stressed about money, about how you're going to eat, how you're going to pay your bills, you're not going to be able to be creative and focus on that stuff. Now, I'm not saying you have to be bullin', but like you should be comfortable. You don't have to be a starving artist. And in fact, I think it's going to benefit your creativity a lot more if you're not a starving artist.
100,000% agree. And I know I mentioned that in my video when I talk about moving to LA, my 1 year update, I shared that exact concept right there of, yes, there has been stories.
Yeah.
It's lit that so many people did that. But the reality of today and 20 years ago is not the same. And what a lot of people realize, I'm sure already on your own, but what you really got to recognize too is how much humans have changed. And what I say by that, I mean that you before could show up working hard and people would be like, that's a hard effing worker, right? Nowadays, if you show up and people know you ain't got nothing, they're quick to try to take advantage of you. 100%. And so now you think the opportunity to open a door for you is they're like seeing your hard work ethic and they're like, oh, this person got integrity. Oh yeah, we could definitely open it. No, a lot of times that's going to present the opportunities to you that don't progress your life at all. 100%. They'll actually most likely set you back because this person knows how desperate you are and is willing to just take advantage of you as well. So it's like you open up, I feel like just too many doors of ridiculousness, as I'll call it.
Yeah.
When you don't come prepared, as I would say. And are you ever really, truly prepared? I mean, yeah, you could definitely come with $1 million. You're prepared.
Yeah.
But it's a mindset thing. But I think the finances will definitely help with your mindset because you're making me think back to when I first got here. And I remember the job I had, it came with a promise that after like a month, my salary would practically like double. Okay.
Was it a tech job? If you don't mind asking?
It was a basketball job. It was coaching basketball for this one company. I won't shout them out or anything. And I remember coming and they was like, "Oh, okay, we just need to make on paper you look like this, but we need to just make sure in person because you are coming from across the country, Washington D.C. Got here, worked that job for the month, proved myself. It was time for me to get my 30K increase. Didn't happen." they was like, just a couple more months, because this wasn't in contract, this was in Word. And now we're going back to just the struggling part. That's what the real purpose of the story. And I remember like thinking to myself, my bills was paid. I had like $100 left over. And it is the worst. So y'all would know I've been there. It is the worst feeling in the world to have your credit cards stacked up against you. You're trying to make ends meet, but you also trying to be this creative with $100 left over every month. So you can't enjoy yourself really. You can't do anything. And you find yourself just like, damn, yo, I gotta make shit happen for me.
Yeah, that's like a good and a sad point too. What you're saying is like there's a lot of empty promises too in Los Angeles. And when you're like, so like that guy promised you that money and you were like, yeah, like I'll just take your word for it. And I think that happens to a lot of people in LA, of people promising you these things, promising you these opportunities, promising you money. And you can just kind of fall into that. But if you don't have any financial backing or any backing of your own, it's especially easy to fall into those opportunities. And I know it's happens for both men and women, but my females out there, especially for you women, I really want to encourage you to find financial freedom on your own. It's so important because people will take advantage of you. And especially in LA, and especially as a female in LA, things can get so weird so quick with the opportunities people present you with quick money out here.
Plus 1,000. No, as someone, is a lot of you all would know, who has more female friends than male, this is something we talk about all the time. And the difference with a lot of their mindsets, because like Sophie is on her ish, but Sophie is focused individual. We're going to get there to how her focus and discipline and all the things she works on. And a lot of my other female friends are like that too. But the ones who aren't, they tell me the stories. Same thing what you're talking about, are like empty promises and all these things. And now they find themselves in like, honestly, crappy situations.
100%.
And I'm not even saying they're not life ending. Let me just throw that out there. But a lot of you guys got to understand. I'll use like a simple concept. I was auditioned for a game show, got to the final round, and even within the contract at the very end, they asked, and I'm not sure how much this comes up in every single network you work with, but considering this was a bigger network, it literally asked, have you engaged in any like sexual acts on camera, or do you have an OnlyFans, or do you have this? If you check yes, they weren't interested. Yeah. And so it's even things like that where it's like, you might think, oh, I can get around by doing this, but then you lose the opportunity that you were really looking for at the end. Yeah. So now you've set back everything over like one little decision financially that you couldn't cover. And it like carries the weight for so long. So it's so much. I'm not saying it's impossible, because there's no true. I'm sure if I probably did enough research, there's someone. Yeah. But like, you just got to be so aware of how much your dreams could get set back by making bad decisions because you're in a financial pitfall.
It's very true. I always I never wanted to have to take Bikini Girl #5 in like a music video for $100 or anything like that because I needed the money. So another thing like I'll touch on too is just like, as an actor, I think it's important to know that most working actors, 80% of them don't make the SAG minimum every single year. So what does this mean? This means that as an actor, you probably need to have an additional source of income. And so I run like a social media marketing agency outside of acting that generates me a lot of income as well, because I didn't want to have to solely rely on this thing, but I also didn't want to have to take weird gigs in order to make ends meet. So it's like finding something creative that you can enjoy that can also help you stay financially afloat, even if it is outside of acting.
Yes. Like, because, and I want to make sure we don't miss this point, 'cause this is so important for everybody, especially. So as you all know, I'm a 9-to-5 actor. I work in tech. I cover this all the time. Even when you get to LA, you're going to run into that where people are like, oh, you got a job? You're not really making it. You're not really this. You're not this. And if you don't know who you are and you even fall victim to that pressure right there, I've known people to quit their jobs because of this pressure to chase after the dream, which, as you should always chase after your dream, but they quit their financial backing because of what it looks like. And they're promoting it to everyone. I'm telling y'all know I've been for 2 years. I probably know at least 3 people now who've done it. And they promote to everybody how, yes, I quit my 9-to-5. I'm so happy to do this. And they're trying to like shit on the people who like have 9-to-5s. And now they're struggling more than they ever have in their life because they don't have the financial backing. It isn't so like you get this one job, it may go for 3 months, but then you don't know when your next one's coming if you don't have any other income. So now you find yourself doing the $100 Bikini Girl #5. And it's just like you've backtracked. So it's like also just making sure that not only do you have that financial backing, not only do you have a creative outlet, like Sophie has her social media marketing company, and it's making sure that you definitely know what works for you to be able to put you in a situation to succeed in the long run. It's like so important.
100%.
I hope a lot of people really do learn from that convo just now, because it is just so important when you come into LA, when you making dreams happen for yourself. I'm not even saying everybody's going to be an actor, right? Even though I'm a 9-to-5 actor, some of you all may want to be dancers. Some of y'all may want to get into music. I mean, there's so many artists. There's so many things here. But just try to have some back